I'm going to expand a little bit on my last video, which I entitled, I said that Jesus never had a problem with Peter carrying a sword. Now, you know, in Matthew, we talked about Jesus says to Peter, he says, you know, put your sword up. Then he makes a general statement, which seems like a general statement. He said, for all who take the sword shall perish by the sword. Now, I want to show that that wasn't really just a general statement, that he was actually talking to the folks there. Now, we find that in Luke chapter 22, verse 49. Let me read that to you. And it tells us that that after Judas came and gave Jesus the betrayal kiss, it says, when they which were about him saw what would follow, they said to him, Lord, shall we smite with the sword? And one of them smote the high priest's servant thereof. Now we know that was Peter. So there was others there. There was other people there besides the apostles. We know in Mark that it says that there was when everybody forsook Jesus, that there was a certain young man who'd been following Jesus, and he fled, left his clothes and fled naked. He just was wrapped with something. So there were people there that were, followers of Jesus, but they were, not the apostles. So we don't know how many they were there, but they saw what was going on, and they said, shall we strike? So this statement, I say to you, was Jesus, he just now told Peter to put the sword up, and he talks to all of them. He said, for he who takes the sword shall perish with the sword. As I said in the video, now look back at part one of the video, that he was not trying to establish a doctrine. He had no problem with Peter carrying the sword. Peter had been carrying the sword, and he told Peter, just put the sword back up. Here, these are the civil authorities. They have the authority of the high priest. They're coming to arrest me, which is to fulfill Scripture. And he said, if you take up the sword now, if you take the sword, it says, if you take the sword now, you shall perish by the sword. So that's what that means. That's what that means. So I just thought I would come back and try to do a little clarification on that.